v.h.s.x? What do you mean?
If you clicked on this video, you understand what you're getting into by seeing and understanding how a top level Ghostface and the top 1% is going to look like. We're honestly going against one of the tougher lobbies that I would have to say. Like a majority of them were P90 and above, and they all were very coordinated. They must be possibly in a team, just due to the coordination and whatnot. It really seemed like they must be in comms. Now, off the bat there, I had accidentally hit the attack button, but we do cloak up here to try to hide the light because I figure that I need to eliminate one of their points of information. Smart, as you can see, they're smart. They're not really trying to go for the bait and actually mess up on the vault, and they actually use live. So very tough on my part, I have to say. And then you're gonna see in a second, because I was trying to get them, but you know we're on Hawkins, so it's quite difficult. And then of course had a syringe, so I figure we just get rid of the pallets, and then we get our Spirit Fury up, and we have to try to fly into a new chase. I have to say, one of the sweatier lobbies, you already see like at least multiple gens are starting to be 99 already. He was trying to brute force that pallet drop, but thankfully I was able to go around it. If he decided to go and drop that pallet on me, I would be an easy down, which is exactly what we're trying to do here. Now, of course, this is Hawkins, so you can see within seconds, like, we're dealing with a lobby like this, and we're dealing with a map that's extremely safe. As you just saw, like, we already used Spirit Fury, we're having him right where we needed him to be, and then that's when the pallet was right there ready for him to use again. Now, we're also going to notice, hey, like, look, there's somebody running in front of me, trying to get to the hook. We get an M1, but due to that delay, they get the Sabo now. So I'm like, great. Then they break free. So not only do they have Sabo, they got Breakout, they got everything in their kit to give them every advantage. But I figured we need to at least clear out pallets. We notice that this guy's gonna keep re-dropping. We can at least eliminate resources depending on where he goes. I'm gonna try to down him again with Spirit Fury if I can. Because it seems like, you know, their overconfidence is going to get them killed anyway. So we figure, all right, smart guy. You know, even his pathing is quite smart. I would say this is one of the better survivors that I've gone up against. But he got downed right next to the hook, so there's no way that they can truly get the Sabo unless they're directly behind me, which means you get the first hook going pretty much after maybe 1 to 2 gens, because you already know that due to the gen speeds, they're going to fly, and especially with the map like this. And this is why I never change my build, because you can get on a lot of maps like the game, Area Pros, you get on this map, like any like super ridiculously tough map, especially for specifically an M1 killer like Ghostface, you're going to need to have some defense against that, and that's why I specifically orient my build specifically around that chase aspect. And then while we're waiting for them to close in, we immediately start putting on the droplet at least just to get some BP going. Deadlock is doing wonders right now. We're just going to try to cut off the angle. We know that the Ada is going to be trying to stay near him to body block and also prevent the another hook, right? Now we know that the Ace is getting very confident here. He's pre-dropping. I'm like, cool, let's just keep getting rid of the resources, because we've got to keep in mind this is like we're playing on Gideon Meat Plant. And we're trying our very best here. I tried to like drop down over here, but it just wasn't a lot I could do. Because the pathing, it's that easy on this map. Like, you don't really need to do a lot. And I shouldn't have swung there. He starts clicking and celebrating, so I figured let me just vault after him. It's quite difficult, but thankfully we're able to just quickly down him. You saw how he started waving to make sure he can get the animation so they could try to get the pallet drop. But as you saw, he also has decisive, so but he still gets finesse regardless. So it doesn't really matter, right? Because you got to remember their cockiness is going to get them downed, as well as the fact that they know that they're going to just keep abusing second chances. Now, keep in mind, okay, that they are rushing out gens very quickly. We don't have a lot of time, but we figure that they're going to try to break the hooks that they think I'm going to go to. So that's why I decided to go to a different direction, just to throw them off and then see if we can catch anybody coming in, which we heard that the Ada was running around, so we get an M1 on them. And then we figure, all right, so if I chase Ada, that should pull off somebody else from the generators. But we don't want to specifically, you know, leave the area for too long, because this generator is about to fly and we don't have a lot of options in this situation. Keep in mind that they're most likely coordinated. They're as you can see, that they're here to sweat. A lot of survivors will, you know, actively say, you know, not to utilize the strategies, but if I didn't utilize any strategies, how would I have even had a chance in this lobby, right? Because now, okay, cool. We got the person who usually does the sabos on the ground now. The other one is getting healed by their teammate. We'll just go to that same hook. Now here's where I got ambitious. I got the M1, I got the Spirit Fury, but we still just get pallet dropped on. That was a massive misplay on my part. I shouldn't have even attempted to do that, because I already saw, like, even by the time I had even gone for the swing, they already just walked right back into the pallet range somehow. So I didn't have any time to do anything with that. So that was just overly ambitious for no particular reason. And that also revealed that I had Spirit Fury, so I went over here to check on where the path that they were going. And of course, this is another problematic area that is extremely difficult to really counter, because it takes me an eternity to climb the stairs, then they can just drop down vault within seconds. Like, it's uncounterable, right? So we just leave the area entirely. We don't even chase in that area. That area doesn't exist. We let the gen go. We don't care about it, because we can't even access that location even if we wanted to. Now we down Ada right next to the pallet. We don't really we were not really afraid of getting pallet dropped in this particular situation, because I figure that we'll be fine, honestly. Like, I haven't seen another survivor around the area the whole time. It's just been Ada. It's first hook for Ada, and we also have the gen that's blocking. I mean, not blocking, that's going to regress in the meantime. We have another gen in proximity. We figure that they're going to be in this area. Like, we know that there's a lot of gens about to fly, so we're trying to get as much stock as we can on the Fang. We know that they're also having deadlock blocking the gen for me. We're in a really tight situation. It's very, very difficult to really be able to get something to happen here unless we do what we can. So you got to remember, what do we have? Our exposed. We have our power. We have our stealth. So we're like, okay, we're going to make sure we stock up the ace as much as possible. We have Feng marked up as much as possible. The Meg is also injured. I somehow didn't get the swing there. I don't know what's going on with their game, but we are able to down the Meg. And then we notice, like, hey, like, the Ada's still here. She's going to try to Sabo again. We can actually go and down her. She drops the pallet, whatever, doesn't matter. We get rid of another resource. Now we got rid of a god pallet. But I figure, let me leave Meg on the ground, because that means another person can get off the generator, come for the save. We also get that pallet out the way. I'll take it. Why do I keep doing? I keep reactivating my shroud, because they're not even marked anyway, so it doesn't matter. I want to hide the light so that they're not able to completely know where I'm going. They tried to fake the pallet, which gives me the down. Then we quickly hook Ada again, because we need to get more people on second state so that if I down anybody, it's a kill. That is extremely important to do. When you're against a team like this, you have to be smart, you have to be on your toes, and you have to play super duper attention. You cannot slip up like I was doing before, because now we're down to one gen already and nobody's dead yet. So we're essentially against the ropes. So we have to do what we have to do, right? We have to figure out a way to leverage the game to our side. So we figured they just did the gen. We don't see any scratch marks. We don't see anyone running, but we do see the ace. And we know that the ace is literally going to be one shot, and I'm pretty sure he's dead on hook. So depending on which path he takes will determine if we get this. He pre-drops because he knows I have Spirit Fury, so we walk right past it. We continue to follow him. If he goes for any pallet, he pretty much goes down. We make sure we lunge into the pallet so that we can have it break on ourselves. And then from there, he tries to fly into the locker. We just wait till it comes out, because I don't need them getting some kind of locker save. So that's why we also see them healing. So we're like, all right, cool. We basically confirmed ace. We got him out of the game. This is pretty much the way to win this. Because remember, it's not always about just pursuing that same target, or always about you know, you just stay near the target. Like, you need to also keep in mind, like, what is the flow of the game. You need to keep in mind, like, what are they trying to do, and then from there you can start to create a strategy. So we figure, okay, we marked up Fang, that's fine. Now we know, okay, cool, Mega's gonna try to body block, that's fine. Now we got two people that are one shot right now, so no matter who we go for, Mega's still going for the body block. So we figure, all right, this should be easy. We should be able to get any one of them on the ground. They're gonna try to go near that more broken, like, area that you really can't really avoid. We use the blood circle to give us that coup de grace value, and then we immediately go over and continue to leave her on the ground, cloak up, because Fang cannot reveal us while exposed. While she has that exposed, she cannot reveal us for all that time, so I'll use that to hide the light in the meantime. I figure that's gonna have to take Ada off the generator. It's a little bit of a risky play, and I even did attempt to go for the lunge there, which kind of cost me because the delay is super long, and then she had balanced landing. So we just figure we have to leave the chase now, because perks are still always going to be stronger than your skill. And that's just how the game is. A perk will always outdo anything that actually requires you to use skill. So with that being said, we're like, okay, fine. They're busy wasting time healing. That means no one's on gens. We can immediately start to go for an M1 on Ada, because she's being goofy, trying to corner tech, and thinks she's getting cocky that they're going to win now. We cloak up again. Why? Because we don't want them to turn corners and know where I'm coming from. Now the other ones are near me walking around, so we just get another free pallet. I don't care. We break it, and then we shroud up again. And then we figure, okay, cool, more information. Somebody's hiding behind me. That's Meg. Fine, we'll take an M1. I don't care. The other one is also here, so we're gonna M1 them as well. We don't have anyone marked. That's fine. We'll just one-shot everybody by doing that, right? We'll keep everyone at one shot during the whole match. That is the idea. Because remember, this is one of the tougher lobbies, right? Like, you can see the coordination. You can see, like, all the gens are flying. Now they're getting cocky, and that gives us time to do what we need to do. I figure, all right, we're not next to a hook. If Ada comes in for a body block or tries to sabo, we'll be ready for it. That's why we walk away from that hook, and then we go for a completely different one. Because I want to throw it. I want to throw off their sabo attempt, which they still completely go for the. They commit for the break, which gives me the time that I need, so I could go ahead and look around. We'll just try to see if we can cut off the angle from here. Now, this is my problem with Hawkins, is obviously, like, I'm listening through the wall, thinking I'm tracking them. I turn the corner and there's nobody there. So I'm like, I don't understand, like, where they could have possibly ran off to if I just heard her through the wall, but I guess so. So that was a bit of a fumble on my part, but we rotate our way back around so we could try to find where they possibly could be. We know that we're gonna be right around the hook, so that's when we start hitting. We were trying to go for Ada, but they're forcing out a body block. So I figure we just go for Ada this time. It really doesn't matter who we go for, because you know the other one is still gonna be within the area. As you can see, she's over there pre-dropping, or at least I heard like a pre-drop sound at the time, but I knew she was gonna try to pre-drop or something like that. And then all we have to do is just rotate around this, which is kind of ridiculous. My finger slipped off the trigger there, and then we attempted to go for another swing there. But I think she tried to use one of her perks, and it actually kind of worked out with my pathing. So we were then able to then get Ada out of the game, because I remember Ada was on death hook. We take her out first, and then that's when we were able to leverage the game to our side. Now we start going for the hook on the Meg now. She has decisive strike, of course she does. When don't they have a second chance perk? So that's when we start to go after her this time, and then they start going up this way. That's completely fine. I figured that they're most likely going to have to go for some kind of vault. That's why I attempted to swing, but they actually were, you know, pretty confident, I guess, in their ability to just constantly run around in a circle. I guess they assumed that the Feng was going to do the gen, but I figured with a loop like this, you can either try to go for that, or you could just keep following them and just vault after them or something, depending on how to do it. Because it's kind of difficult to attempt mind games in certain loops, especially when it's very safe for them. So the mind game is usually a lot stronger when they have the most they're the most in danger. So we also activate our shroud. We find them there. They gave up, I guess. So that pretty much confirms our win for the game. Honestly, I have to say, one of the tougher lobbies. Arguably, I would say, like, they weren't completely terrible at the game, obviously. So we hit them with the big no, you know what I'm saying, so that they understand that they've lost, and I can now celebrate. And I just wanted to make sure everyone got hooked, you know, which, as you can see, like, the Feng is still able to get off the hook, which is weird. She can still, because you would think that everybody's already on the hook, so that the game should have ended, but I'm just kind of waiting for the Feng to start pulling the hook. I guess he just kind of completely just gave up after that. So as you can see, I wait for it. But I would honestly say, like, we're on one of the toughest maps, and if I didn't have my build that I have right now, it would have guaranteed me a loss. And this is why I always run this build. I always run this build at every game, because it really helps with my playstyle. It really helps with a myriad of different things. But it's mainly focused on that chase aspect. If you're not about chasing, if you're about being stealthy and not being in their face and stuff like that, then you're probably not going to get a lot of value from this build, or you know, because it does have that sort of, I would argue, a skill gap. And we also got a massive amount of blood points, which is really good for us, you know, so we can get closer and closer to the P100 mark. And these are one of the matches that truly, I would say, contributed to getting me there, because that's almost 400,000 BP. And then we're gonna quickly take a look at the builds as well in just a moment. You can see the builds right there. Very, very tough lobby. So we dive right into yet another match with the same outfit, because this was during like the same session that I was playing. And you're gonna see once again, like, we get into yet another one of the tougher lobbies that I honestly say, like, I think this is definitely one of the tougher ones, for sure. because not every single survivor, like, even though a lot of the creators may say this, like, oh, win streaks don't mean anything and all this type of stuff, but keep in mind that, like, a lot of skill is involved in going into for a kill streak, especially with the randomness that is matchmaking on this game. But they want to argue that it doesn't matter. So right here, you're gonna see, like, I was attempting to at least get the mark down or whatever have you. Unfortunately, I'm not able to actually get it because of the fact that I'm pulling them out of a locker. But as you can see, like, we're taking a look around, and there's something you're gonna note, because I know there's some people that will tell you to break walls in this map. I don't ever break walls unless it's that one building with the second floor with the gen at the top. But in most cases, I do not break the walls in that building right there, like, depending on what it is. Now you're gonna see here, the gen's already like 99, and the chase was already that quick. Like, you could probably put a timer on that. That must have been like a 10-15 second chase at most. But the gen was already done, and I'm like, what? Like, how is that? How the hell is that possible, right? So I was like, okay, that's fine. We just waited out. We down the Sable again, and we pick him up. And of course, decisive strike. I mean, when isn't it, right? So I figure, okay, fine, that's all right. But judging by this area, it's a dead zone, because every time they run here, I left that wall closed for a reason, because I figure if I left that door open, it's going to open up the whole map. So I was like, no, I'm going to leave that closed so that every time they go in there, they just get stopped. Now, your results may vary, right? Sometimes the map may spawn a different way, but with this particular spawn I figured that we're not going to break that wall, because I realized, like, that's the one area that helps them transition between the two halves of the house. So if I leave it closed, they don't have any choice but to kind of just take the hit. So we're trying to get more stalking on Michaela, but I realized I got to go back toward the hook, because I know that they're going to rush for the save again, as they did before. Like, they didn't even waste any time. They immediately ran for the save. We noticed a gen up there got blocked, which is fine. We just figured that we have to just use this little area here to get the Sable out of the game, because we realize that the gens are very, very quick. So we just try to wait it out. We take the stun so we can get the pallet out. That's fine. The other one's trying to bait some kind of body block. I ignore them. I don't care about that. A lot of survivors will try to do that to try to get you to chase them instead and down them instead and play according to their rules. But with situations like this, and especially with the killer that you pick, it definitely can, like, really affect your results and how you actually get to win the game or not, due to that fact that you are playing to their rules compared with whatever killer you're using. Like, if you're playing a low-level killer, you could argue, which of course, yet again, they have yet another second chance, most likely a syringe or some nonsense. So, you know, that was all they really had, you know what I'm saying? Because now they got the health state, and then that means that now I will just down them again. It really doesn't matter. So we just use our blood de gras, you know what I'm saying, to get that going. We go up here, they're all vaulting out, getting all scared. So we just break this gen, because another gen is 99. So I figure I can try to get an M1 on one of them, potentially. So we just go for the pickup here. Here's a crucial aspect that you're going to notice. Everyone's throwing the game to come for the body block. I only take one, because I figure if I go for 2, 3, 4... hell no, it's just wiggling free. So we just walk past them after that. We go for the one body block, and that's alright. We're like, alright, that's good. That's all I needed. And then we just keep it moving. Now, the thing that confused me here was, like, the gen was still regressing, and then they just kind of disappeared for some reason. Like, the scratch marks are there. They were gone. And I figured, well, I don't have any time to be kind of staying around here, so I'm just going to, you know, just pick up a droplet and put it back down just to get a little bit extra BP. Or take the droplet with me and we move it somewhere else, just so that we can get a better droplet range, as well as the fact that we just want more points. But as you can see, like, another gen flew, and then that gen right there is about to go as well. So we're just trying to look around and see if we can find anybody else to start a new chase. Which we find the Michaela that we stalked from before. We actually start leading off of the trash cans, because you got to keep in mind, like, you got to move fast when you're playing Ghostface, especially when it comes down to stalking. You definitely want to be able to just stalk whenever you can. I've realized, wait a minute, there's an injured person on the gen over here, so I'm going to go immediately after them. They knock them right back down. Another gen is already about to zoom, so I'm like, okay, well, we got to hook them right next to this gen and defend it. The other gen is way too far, so we can't defend that. We leave that alone. We defend this gen. We know that Michaela's also 99 next to me. I figure that there's also a couple of different angles they can come from. They can come from the middle of the school, left or right. They also have the fence to conceal them, so they would be very tricky. We knew that gen was going to fly. We started going in this direction just to see where they're going to close in from, because they have 3 different directions, and I have to keep an eye out for whichever that direction they choose is going to be. Now, I figured they would try to come from the left side. That would be my best guess, especially because of just the pathing. It'd be a little bit quicker. So we just take a look around. We see the Nia here. We start stalking off the hook. That's what we use that time. So now we have 2 people at 99%. Here's where the strategy starts to kick in, because we have to keep an eye on our cooldown. It's about halfway done. We just got to wait it out. Just wait till they get close enough. And then that's from there we can just try to push them back so that they can't go for the save without trading. As you can see, her fear is allowing me to get this down now, because now she tries to go for some kind of FOV tag. An FOV tag. Oh, I'm so scared. And then they just get finessed, because now they're one-shotted. Their teammates already on the second stage. So I just immediately pick up. I figure that we can hit this person because they have off the record anyway, so it really doesn't matter. And then we push ourselves toward the hook to get the prompt. Especially because we can't really hit Nia. If the Nia did try to body block, I would have to put them down, mark, and then go for that. Now I figure, okay, they're gonna immediately go save. I can now go for this Michaela, who has no options, because of the fact that once they get rid of this pallet or whichever path they take, they pretty much are cooked. As you can see right here, they have to run into the locker. They have nowhere to go, and that's because I never broke that wall. When you're playing on maps like this, you have to keep an eye out. Do I have to break this wall? And in most cases, you don't, because it is really unnecessary to do so. And because, keep in mind, you're an M1 killer, you have to try to cut off angles, even with the environment. So sometimes I'll leave walls up just because I know that it's not going to, it's gonna make it a bigger dead zone. So as you can see, we try to not get revealed. We also notice, oh, okay, it's Nia. We have them 99. We're just gonna follow them long enough to give us some pallets. That's pretty much what it is. We're just gonna try to walk right through them. She's gonna pre-drop them all. It makes no difference to me, because this is why I utilize this build. Now, I'm not saying you have to use this build to be good at the character, or you have to use this build. You could use whatever build you personally want to use, but this is what works for me. This is what works for my playstyle and how I use the character. Because a lot of people expect you to be creeping around and being afraid of the survivors and being more sneaky, quote unquote, and all that stuff. I don't really play that way. It's not my playstyle, but I love the character and the franchise that it does represent, even though it's not accurate to that franchise, which is obviously Scream. This is more so the Fun World costumed character called the Ghostface. So not Ghostface, obviously. And then you'll see that obviously, if you ever decide to peruse the Fun World website. But anyway, Nia ran off with balanced landing. We figure, all right, we just got to go right back because we know that this gen was going. We just M1. Because I was trying to go for some stalking, but they flew out the gate. So I figured, all right, we're just going to have to just go for the M1 normally. But thankfully, because the Nia had just wasted every pallet in this damn area, they just have absolutely... And this one tried to go with balance or something as well. Which, as you can see by their speed, they had balance as well. So it really didn't make a difference. Now, Nia's also in the area, so she was just busy hiding down there. She does attempt to body block. I was trying to maybe go for some stalk, but I was like, that's fine. I mean, I'll get the extra points. And then because she's hooking herself by doing that, that gives me the opportunity to down her. And now we can then go for the Michaela. So here's where it gets interesting, because once again, they run to that area, right? They run up the stairs. They're like, all right, all I got is that window. Because look, that wall is still not broken. You see how that one wall on my left side, now it completely just destroys their ability to even use the damn house, which I think is considered the House of Pain. But I was able to completely eliminate that, and that's also just comes with time and understanding how this works. So you're gonna see what I'm doing now. She's not wiggling, so I decided to specifically, and I do this from time to time. If they're not wiggling, I'll specifically carry them all the way over to the basement specifically so that I can save hooks. Because keep in mind that depending on the way the hooks spawn, you may end up breaking one that may be the only hook in the map in that area. So what I do is I try to save the hook by going to a hook that can't be broken. So that's why we placed them on the hook over in the basement, and then we make our way outside. We also heard them while walking by, so we know that they're probably going to be in that area, and we go for them in that sense. Now, you also notice I don't really break the walls in the main building either. That's also for that fact because I don't want to make it any easier to loop the main building. And then we also use our headset to listen in to hear where they possibly could be crawling off to. Which, as you can see now, you see how she's trying to crawl as far away from the hook as possible to try to waste my time and give her more wiggle time. That's not how it works. Because I didn't waste any hooks out in the middle of the street, I could have, no matter which direction she would have crawled to, I would have had a hook. So that's why we give them a little nod and a hit on the hook, you know what I'm saying? Because they tried to calm corner away. And that's not how it works. So we can then just cut over to where the builds are. We also see me, like, this is the walls I do break, by the way. I break this wall and I break the other one just because it's easier to counter the windows when there isn't a doorway. Which keep in mind, when you're in that building, you can also take a look and go, okay, well, this doorway is also like next to this window, so I'll open that doorway, etc. Like, you just kind of have to do that with a character like this. And I also recommend that with characters like Freddy or Trapper and stuff like that that are really focused on the M1 ability. So we'll dive into a bonus match we'll throw into the video for you guys, just so that we can kind of get a little bit more gameplay of me playing my main, of course. And obviously we are going to immediately go and drop a droplet because I was in the middle of trying to get more BP for P100. And that is what the event is all about anyway. I figured I'm also getting revealed very quickly. It turns out that they're up there. We don't care about that generator. And also, because of our wallet add-on, this is why I constantly recommend the add-on, the wallet add-on for builds that are focused around pallets. I broke the wall, I break the pallet. I will also just be able to get my ability very quickly, and you can actually manage your power with that aspect in mind. Now we're just trying to get as much stock as we can, but we're not really too focused on trying to actually, like, you know, get them on the main building. We're just trying to get our power back and just also open it up if we do have to chase in this area. It'll just be a little bit easier. That's why we're just getting rid of the walls, and also helps out with getting a little bit extra BP. We have somebody, I believe, using Object of Obsession or something like that, so we figure it's fine. We'll just get rid of all these walls for the extra BP because we are in the range of the other gens that aren't blocked, except for that one probably in the distance, so that we have to definitely go check on that one. So that's why we start marking. They're immediately like panicking and running off, so that gives us a good amount of information about the type of survivors we're dealing with, which we immediately get the down because they start hesitating, which gives us the opportunity to then hook them near the generator that has the most progress. Considering the fact that the 3 gens that were over behind where she got hooked is actually have been blocked, so that's why we're focused on this area. Now you're gonna see me kind of chasing the butterfly here to get our little challenge done. So we got our little shard, you know, and we're mainly focused on getting our challenges, right? So that's why we immediately go around and put down a droplet and stuff, you know, just trying to get as much blood points as we possibly can get. We give us a little kick, you know, all that fun stuff. Making sure we get our little bonus, you know, we're keeping an eye out. We break down this wall. We also spot the other person, but we're not worried about it because we have to break this wall anyway, just so it's a little easier to chase in that area. But they flew very, very fast all the way over there, so we just don't even worry about it. We also notice, okay, yeah, there's about like 3 of them. Now in this situation, you see I'm looking downward because of the way that the stalking works. I can't really give a full detailed explanation as to why or how that works the way I'm doing it, but to quickly summarize, like the range of the stalking, like on the terms of the screen will determine, like, you know, where you could stalk from or whatever have you. Well, you know, with that being said, we go around the outside of the building to try to see if we can hide the light a bit. We also notice, okay, the LED's going that way. We'll go up here. We'll rotate around the other way and see if we can find anybody up here, which we do. We find the other one standing there, so that means we get the easy mark, which means we get the easy down. So he actually fell down on the on the tables of the saloon, which is quite funny. And then we just immediately go for the hook on this little corner, which they're gonna probably finish off that gen up top. It's not even a problem. We're just focused on trying to get our challenge. In the meantime, this little shard thing, so that's why we're just kind of following it. They of course knock out the gen. I mean, that was already a given, but that also means I don't have to climb up the stairs, which works out for me. I'll take it. And we also get the shard, and then we also notice that the little portal is over there too. So once we get the chance, we'll be able to go do that. Now, it is honestly, I would say, one of the more interesting matches, because I was really not focused on trying to win that badly initially. But I figure, why not, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I figure I can easily get the dub on this match. We also try to get some stalking in to see if they're on that generator. We rotate toward the left because we know somebody's there, so this one has object, so that's why we're just going to try to get as much stalking as we can, because we honestly want to continue to use our ability as much as possible, because if you're not really stalking and getting one-shot downs, then it's like, why am I playing my character, you know what I mean? So we let them stun. We did not swing. I could have, but I was like, no, I need my power back, because I want to make sure we can get the one-shot on this Sable here. That's the only way to really do it. I mean, and then we drop down here. We lose I don't know if we lose distance for it. I don't think, not by much. But we go around. She does hesitate a smidge, but we ended up, like, the aim assist kind of locked us into that pallet, so that kind of sucks for us. But that's fine, because guess what? We won't get revealed again unless somebody else is around. So we can hide the light the whole time until we get revealed by their teammate. And it makes no difference, because now we have Spirit Fury for that reason. I mean, they make another pallet, which is okay. I mean, it's fine. It's just, you know, that's how the game works. For some reason, the survivors are never in danger, so we're not really surprised by this. But we mark them up because they hesitate. You see how, like, when I try to cut off the line of sight, how much easier it gets. So she tried to pull on the pallet, I think, or something, and that just failed. Now, I figure I have some pretty good pressure. I'm going to at least get an M1 on them, because keep in mind, they're very close. So if I go for the pickup now, they will be able to pallet drop, so that's why I do kind of extend a bit to get the M1 on them, and then we go right back because we know that they're going to come in for pickups. Now the other one crawled away from the pallet there. The other one tries to background player with a flashbang. I'm like, come on now, buddy. Like, come on. They really, like, it just goes to show, like, they really just try to let's just use perks instead of actually just learning how to play the game. And it just goes to show right there and then. It just goes to show. But we managed to get it anyway, which is awesome, because I had a feeling. I was like, yo, I saw the Michaela walking in and I didn't see them anywhere else. I was like, yeah, they're waiting for a pickup, which is understandable. So now that's why we start stalking the two over here, so we get Michaela to go save, because now we have two injured people going for a generator, which works out for me. So I figure if there have some kind of like heal 99 or something like that, it would make them just one shot. But then I realized, I'm like, hey, they're probably not going to heal themselves. They don't have any med kits or anything. So we just, you know, we just mark them to get the extra points as a result. Because sometimes you'll see that, like, why did he mark the injured survivor? You know what I'm saying? But that's why. Like, especially in this event, I'm trying to get as much points as I can. Specifically, and also because it helps hide the red light. You won't get broken out of your shroud. So you're permanently, like, hiding the light in that chase for, like, that 60 seconds duration and whatnot. So, you know, it's one of those things you could utilize in chase to really throw them off. Now we just kicked this gen for more points. We're not really worried. I feel like, you know, at that moment I was like, we were gonna win this. Like, there's not even a doubt in my mind. I'm like, let me start stalking up the other one too, just to get some extra points. The other one's across the map trying to reveal instead of doing anything else, so that gives us the opportunity to start chasing somebody else. We pretty much don't even have to really do much here in this particular lobby. Now we do try to utilize a little bit of the strategies here. I've realized that it's not necessarily looking at the recording at least, like, it's not necessarily like where I'm moving that matters, but more so where I'm looking, because the survivors, it seems like they use the red light more so as the way to know where you think they're gonna, where they think you're gonna go, not like more so than where you're actually going, it seems. So I realized, all right, like, we can just continue to follow Sable here. We already have Spirit Fury. She's gonna keep getting rid of every resource, which is what I want. Because if she's gonna slam down every pallet in this area, it completely makes it an entire dead zone. And then, because I know how Object of Obsession works, I activate my Night Shroud so she can't see my aura, because I'm undetectable, obviously, which then gives me the advantage because I see her, she can't see me. And it's like little things like that that can really give you that advantage if you understand how certain perks work, especially like that. It really makes it very, very strong. Which we knew that Jen was going to fly. It was already going when I passed by. But I also noticed that she's still injured. So I'm like, yeah, she probably should have healed. So that works out for me. We use Spirit Fury. And thanks to her teammate, and thanks to Michaela, like, revealing herself that she's in the area, which, of course, she flies in for the body block. Now, here's something I've been doing, right? Check this out. You see how I'm, like, trying to, like, mind game it to break the line of sight there? That actually got me a little bit extra distance, so we can actually force them into the direction I want them to be in. They're going to have to waste that pallet. And then as they go for blinds and waste time, that does mean that I can continue to follow them. Now, obviously, because of the hindered, I can't get the swing, unfortunately. I tried, though, but the hindered does mean I wasn't able to reach. So that was probably the only instance where Champion on the Light actually did something, which is quite hilarious. But with that being said, I mean, it really doesn't mean anything. They tried to point at the locker to try to bait me to think somebody's in there, which is just pathetic, really. But, hey, they tried it, you know what I'm saying? So I figured nobody's in there. I already saw. But they tried it, though. They really did. You know, I think that's the moment they kind of realized, like, yeah, this guy is not gonna play around. Like, but you got to keep in mind, like, depending on the kill you pick, really does determine, like, the attitude and the tone of the match. Because a lot of the time they sort of expect either a Ghostface to either not know what they're doing, or they think that a Ghostface is there for their entertainment or something like that. And they're gonna, like, teabag with him and, oh yeah, well, we're all friends here. But nah, we don't do that here. I don't do all of that. I come in here and I want to get the dub, you know what I'm saying? I want to win, so I do go for the swing there, because it would be very unlikely they can make anything else off of that. But they do start running toward the back. I figure I don't even need to leave the area. Like, they're pinned right there and they're injured. They can't save anybody. And then the other one is injured as well. This one's working on a glyph, for crying out loud. So I was like, wait, she's on death hook. Like, I can probably go for her. Which I activate Stride again. You see, like, she doesn't know where I'm going. Like, her perk is now working against her, because now I can just use it to my advantage, because I can hide my own aura on command. So very easy to do here. Now, I guess she tried to fake it. It really didn't matter. I was able to get the down anyway, and then she's out of the game. And then we were able to just take them out. Now, they're probably going to be healing by hook or something like that. We are actually able to eliminate that person. And as you can see, like, I'm not even having to like, do half of the strategies, just so you guys can kind of get it, like, a distinctive difference. You can see, like, you know, in some instances I'm gonna get a tough lobby, as you saw in the first two matches, like, a little bit more difficult. And then sometimes you may get lobbies like this where they just seem like they're a bunch of goobers. And it just happens, right? Now, the Michaela at least knows how to go in for body blocks and knows how to just press a button to get free endurance. I mean, whoop-de-doo. But you can at least argue, okay, at least that's not, like, completely, like completely brain dead, which, I mean, that vault was, but you get the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, they at least have some intelligence to at least know how to use their ability or their perk or whatever have you. To some degree, it's still an easy cheesy second chance, but at the very least you could say at least they timed it right, you know. So I'll give them that. Now they're already gone, as you would assume, and we also start checking on this gen. I figured that they should be probably in the area, but they're not. So I just figured we're gonna place on a droplet, you know. We give it a kick and we do all that kind of fun stuff. Very great for us. Now, honestly, like, this is, honestly one of the more fun matches, I have to say, just because of the fact that I just really didn't have to do a lot. Like, I knew that my fundamentals were going to carry me out through the game, all through my experience, all through playing the character and understanding how they work and how they function, and overall with the footwork, because keep in mind, this character does not lend a lot to, like, a beginner, and it does not lend a lot to somebody that doesn't understand M1, you know, basics, as well as the fact that, which obviously that doesn't mean beginner, but you understand the point. Like, it's not a very beginner friendly character, because it's so specifically like reliant on the fact that you understand how to use your M1 characters, and you specifically understand where to stalk, how to stalk, when to stalk. You know, there's a lot of depth that really, I would say, comes into a character like this. Now, we already knew they were going to drop the pallet, so that's why I figured we just get it out of the way, clear it out, and then we start giving them more stalking, and then we started to make our way over. So I figure, okay, they're going to run to the left. I can probably start going that way. We see the scratch marks again, but I believe we actually just started finding somebody else as a result. I just figured that'd be the better strategy. Because of the fact that we can get some more points, as well as the fact that they pretty much have nothing to work with. If they decide to once again use that pallet, it doesn't matter because they get down anyway. So I figured, okay, cool, now I can get my power back with this wall. So I love the wallet add-on. That's why I always have one. I'm always like trying to get them in the blood web because it's so important to be able to just instantly get back your 20 seconds of cooldown. So you can jump right into the next thing. Now, the best add-on you could probably rock would honestly be the Ghostface Caught on Tape, because you obviously can get your ability after every down, for basically for free. Now, we also notice this is the same clown that was using the locker perk earlier. I think it's called, I forget if it's Deception or whatever you call it, but either way. Now, this time they do jump into the locker. That's why I figured if there's no scratch marks for a long time, I'm like, yeah, because it only lasts for a few seconds, so that's why I figured I could check on it. They use head on, but I mean that doesn't really mean anything because they just kind of get they just get hit and downed anyway. Yeah, exactly. Like they just gave up. They're like, all right, you got it. I'm like, yeah, like what's the point of all that? So I figure I would place on the droplet here, and then we could get a little bit of extra points for breaking down the wall and stuff. I'm just trying to like, get the min-max. Try to get as much blood points as we could get. And we just go ahead and take him out of the game. Honestly, I would say one of the better matches too. Mainly for the fun factor. I mean, they tried. They really did. But it's, you know, who doesn't like to see a good Ghostface just absolutely like dominate the lobby, you know? I certainly do. At least if they know what they're doing. You know, I can give them that. But yeah, I mean, a character like this really is not beginner friendly. You need to have your fundamentals down. You need to be able to have that background already to really fully get the strength. Just keep in mind, you can't rely on a chase ability or mobility of any kind, really, like mobility or a chase ability to actually help you in chase. Like it's all just, you know, hiding the light and using your footwork. That's all you have, you know. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe to all the YouTube things for me. With that being said, if you become a member, you have exclusive content you get access to, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.